a couple things before I get started. My computer's been messing up a lot lately, so if it does, I'll get frustrated. Just letting you know. Second thing, please don't just fast forward to where I have the answer. I see on the videos that I make for my students at LSU, there'll be a 20-minute video, and the average amount of time watched is 5. Yeah, I do say stuff. Third, please believe I really do know what I'm talking about when it comes to math and what you need to know this year and next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that, and that the way I do things, there's a reason for it, and that if you do it that way, it will be better. I just really, please try. Alright. So, first question. Which is a better buy, laundry detergent priced at $10.89 for 99 ounces, or $14 with an 8% discount for 138 ounces? Show your work and explain why. Well, I agree, this is not a fun problem. So basically what we want to figure out is the price per ounce. So to figure out the price per ounce, you are going to divide price by number of ounces. So for the first laundry detergent, that one's easy. It's $10.89 divided by 99 ounces, which would be $10.89 divided by 99, so 11 cents per ounce. And so, but a little pet peeve of mine, it's either $ with a decimal, that's 11 cents per ounce, or 11 cents per ounce. It's not 0.11 cents per ounce, because that would be 11 100ths of a cent per ounce. That's just a pet peeve of mine. Okay, now I want $14 with an 8% discount. So we need to figure out what $14 with an 8% discount is. So whenever you have a percent off, you multiply by 100 minus 8%. So I'm going to take my 14.00 times 92%, or 14.00 times 0.92, or that's the same as 92 over 100, and that gets me $12.88. So anytime you need to find what something costs with a certain percent off, you multiply it by 100 minus that percent. So I wanted to have 8% off, so I multiplied it by 100 minus 8 is 92. I multiplied it by 92%. 92% is 0.92, or 92 over 100. And that gets me what it is with my 8% off. Alternatively, you could do 14.00 times 8%, so times 8 over 100, and you get $1.12, and that would be how much you take off. So you would have $14 minus $1.12, and you get $12.88. Okay, so we have that the price now is $12.88 for 138 ounces. So I will take $12.88 divided by 138 ounces. and I get 0.093 or 9.3 cents per ounce. So that's the better buy. So the better buy is $14 with 8% discount for 138 ounces, and that amount is 9.3 cents per ounce. Alright, for the concert, 2 security guards are required for every 95 attendees. So this is a proportion question. So you want to pay attention to this. You will have proportion questions and many more times in your life. And the way you set up proportions is you'll have 2 fractions on either side of an equal sign, and then you'll cross multiply. And what's important is that you have the same units on top on each one and the same units on the bottom of each one. So like for instance, if I had apples and oranges, then I would have apples over oranges equals apples over oranges. So in this instance, I have 2 security guards for every 95 attendees. So I'm going to set mine up as guards over attendees. And so I need to make sure that both of my fractions have guards on top and attendees on bottom. So I have 2 guards for every 95 attendees. And I am expecting 8,550 people to attend the concert. Those are attendees, so they go in the denominator, 8550 attendees, and I want to know how many guards. That's my variable. When I have a proportion like this set up, I solve it by cross multiplication. I multiply these two together, 2 times 8550, and then an equals, and I multiply these together, 95 times x is 95x. So 2 times 8550 equals 17100 equals 95x. Divide both sides by 95. And I get 180 guards. "240 students took a survey at Creekside Middle School about their hobbies. 3/8 of the students..." One thing to remember, of always means multiply. It seems weird at first when you first learn that of means multiply, but of always means multiply. 3/8 of the students reported playing sports. 34% reported playing video games. 0.125 reported listening to music. And 8:30 seconds reported watching TV. Which was the most popular hobby, and explain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 things here. All of them are just different ways of writing fractions. And so if I want to figure out what 3/8 of the students are, that would be 3/8 times 240. That's going to be the number who reported playing sports. This I can do without the calculator. I can see that, so this is 3/8 times 240. That's 240 over 1. I can see that 8 goes into 240 30 times, and 3 times 30 is 90. So I have 90 with sports. I have 34% reported playing video games. Well, 34%, that's the same as saying 34% of the students. Of means multiply. So 34% is 34 over 100 times our number of students, which was 240. Let's see. So I can cancel 1 0 with 1 0, and then 2 goes into 10 5 times, 2 goes into 24 12 times. So I have 34 over 5 times 12 over 1. 34 over 5 times 12 is 81.6, or I would say 82 students. Play video games. So we have 82 students, video games, 90 sports. 0.125 reported listening to music. That's just another way of writing a fraction. So 0.125 times 240. And that's 30. So it's 30 students report listening to music. And then lastly, we have 8:30 seconds report watching TV. So the 8:30 seconds times 240. Well, 8:30 seconds, that reduces to 1/4. That's 1/4 times 240. 1/4 times 240. 4 goes into 4 one time. 4 goes into 240 60 times. So I have 60 report watching TV. So what was the most popular hobby? The most popular hobby is sports, with 90 students. Which hobby was reported the least? That would be music, with 30 students. Now, here I was lecturing you at the beginning about being neat, and I was not at all neat, so when you write this up, it needs to be neater. Let's make sure we have all the right answers. Where are the answers? Thought you had the answers on here somewhere. Oh well. Okay. If I made a mistake, it would not be the first time. Do we have any idea where I just saved that? Let's see. In the 2023 folder. Come on, computer. Okay. Mary bought a handbag on sale for 25% off the original price. So we remember that the way to do that, if it's 25% off, we multiply by 100 minus 25 equals 75%. So we multiply the original price times 0.75 let's figure out what that is. $2.15 times 0.75 is $161.25. But then she has to pay 8.5% sales tax on the handbag. So when we add a percent, we're going to add 1 point, and then we change this percent into a decimal, 1.085. This 1 in front, that is adding on the whole amount. And then the 0.85 adds on the additional 8.5%. So if I take my number, 161.25, and I multiply that by 1.085, that adds, what this does is it adds 8.5% to 161.25. And I get 174.96. 174.96. You could, if you wanted to, find, and for both of these, you could find 25% and then subtract it. And you could find 8.5% and then add it. This just turns it into a one-step problem. Well, it's 2 steps because we have to discount and then add tax. But that just takes it all into account. Okay, so this next one is very straightforward. The store sold 250 swimsuits last week. This week, the sales of swimsuits increased by 16%. So all we're doing is increasing by 16%. So that means we're multiplying by 1.16. So we take our original amount, 250, multiply by 1.16. And I get 290. 290 swimsuits. Oscar's doghouse is shaped like a tent. The slanted sides are both 5 feet long, and the bottom of the house is 6 feet across. What is the height of his doghouse in feet at the tallest point? Okay, so we have tent. Try again. So here's my opening to my tent, and then it goes back, and the bottom of the tent. That's the inside of the tent like that. The slanted sides are both 5 feet long, and the bottom of the house is 6 feet across. What is the height of his doghouse in feet at the tallest point? So what we're looking at, if I just look at the front here, I see that's 5, and this is 6 going across here. So I want to know the height. The height is always perpendicular to the base. So that would be the height, and it's perpendicular. This is isosceles, so we can break it up exactly in half. So this side would be 3, and this side would be 3. So now what I want to do is look at one of those right triangles, because with a right triangle I can use the Pythagorean theorem. So the height, my unknown, that's h this is 5, this is 3. Hey, that's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. So that just tells me that the height is 4 feet. So that's that. I could have gotten it by saying h squared plus 3 squared equals 5 squared. H squared plus 9 equals 25. Subtract 9. H squared equals 16. H equals 4. But I already knew h equaled 4 because it's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. A suitcase measures 24 inches long and the diagonal is 30 inches long. So what you have drawn here is not the diagonal. The diagonal is going from one corner to the other. That's the diagonal. How much material is needed to cover one side of the suitcase? Well, I recognize, because I'm always on the lookout for it, that this is also a 3, 4, 5 triangle. Notice 624 is 6 times 4. 30 is 6 times 5. So this side will be 6 times 3. So this side is going to be 18. So how much material is needed to cover one side of the suitcase? So the area, we want the area of that rectangle. That is 18 and 24. And the area is base times height. So that's 18 times 24. (432) square inches. Now again, if you wanted to use the Pythagorean theorem, you certainly could. So you would have that. That's 30. That's 18. Nope. What do we know? We know 30 and 24. And we don't know this side. So this would be x squared plus 24 squared equals 30 squared. (576) x squared plus 576 equals 900. Subtract 576 from both sides. X squared equals 324. And then take the square root of both sides, and x equals 18. So that would have gotten us the 18 for being the side there. But again, if you recognize it as a 3, 4, 5 triangle, it saves you a lot of time. But regardless, the answer is 432 inches squared. A painter is painting a wall he has a 20-foot ladder that is 4 feet from the base of the wall. Is the ladder long enough for him to reach a spot that is 15 feet high on the wall? Why or why not? Okay, so alright, so we have a wall. Here's 15 feet right there, so this distance is 15. We have the foot of the ladder is 4 feet away, and this is our ladder right here. So we have a triangle. This side is 4 and this side is 15, and that is a right triangle. So let's see what the length of this side is. And if it's less than 20, we're in good shape. If it's more than 20, we're not in good shape. This is not a 3, 4, 5 triangle. 4 and 15 are not multiples of 3 and 4. So x squared, x is the hypotenuse, x squared equals 4 squared plus 15 squared. X squared equals 16 plus 225. X squared equals 241. And I get that x equals 15.5. So, my ladder is 20 feet long. I only need a 15.5 foot ladder. And so, yes, I can reach it. A farmer needs to buy fencing to go around his garden. The garden is 20 feet by 15 feet. How many feet of fencing will he need? Okay, well, this was a good start, but of course the garden has these sides as well. So that's 20 and that's 15. Is there something I'm missing here? The garden is 20 feet by 15 feet. How many feet of fencing will he need? I don't think so. So that'd be the perimeter is 20 plus 15 plus 20 plus 15 equals 40 plus 30 equals 70 feet. Okay, now I am not promising that I'm getting all these right because I can't like add. Okay, alright. This one you seem to have skipped, but you don't have a question mark by it. John bought a circular rug for his office that has a 12-foot diameter. So diameter is 12 feet. The rug has a blue border and a red circular center with a 4-foot diameter. Well, they should have told me that sooner. There's a blue border and a red circular center with a 4-foot diameter. What is the area of the blue border? Oh, I see. So the blue border goes all the way. Okay, got it. So I want area of the outside minus the area of the inside. So the area of the outside is, I'll call it pi big R squared minus pi little r squared. The radius of the outside is 6, so pi times 6 squared, because 6 is half of 12, minus pi times the radius of the inside is half of 4, so that's 2, so times 2 squared. So that's 36 pi minus 4 pi, which is 32 pi. And then if you want to get that as an approximate number, (32) then pi is 100.53. 100.53 what's feet squared. Solve each inequality and graph its solution Also write this solution using set builder notation and interval notation. Okay, so 125 is greater than or equal to 5 times negative 3 minus 7r. I'm going to distribute that 5. So 125 is greater than or equal to negative 15 minus 35r. I'm going to add 35r to both sides. So I have 35r plus 125 is greater than or equal to negative 15, or 35r. Now I subtract 125 from both sides. And I get negative 140. Divide both sides by 35. Negative 140 divided by 35 is negative 4. So r is greater than or equal to negative 4. Notice I divided by a positive number. I divided by a positive 35. So I did not need to switch the direction of the sign. Even though my answer is negative, and even though I was dividing a negative number, I was not dividing by a negative number. The thing that I did to both sides was not a negative number. So I get r is greater than or equal to negative 4. So I put a solid dot on negative 4, and greater than or equal goes this way. Do we have answers to these? That looks right? Okay, so 104 is less than negative 2 times 4 minus negative 7n. Okay, so 104 is less than negative 8 plus 14n. Now, there are times, I'm going to go ahead and do this, because just to show you. Make your numbers as small as possible, because then you just have smaller numbers to work with. Rather than doing what I did just a minute ago, or was about to do, with distributing, I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 2 first, because my goal is to isolate the n, so I might as well start getting stuff away from the n as soon as I can. So 104 divided by negative 2 is 52, negative 52, but I divided by a negative, and so I change the direction of the sign. Negative 52 equals 4 minus 7n. I'm going to add 7n to both sides because I prefer it to be on this side. I don't have to do that. I prefer it to be on this side, and I prefer for my final answer to be positive, for my n to be positive. Now I'll add 52 to both sides. 7n is greater than 56, or n is greater than 8. So strictly greater than, not greater than or equal to, so we have an open circle at the 8. I was just checking my work. Alright. I believe this one says 4 is greater than 3n minus 5 plus 3. Usually, whenever you can combine like terms, you might as well go ahead and do that. So 4 is greater than 3n minus 2. I'll add 2 to both sides. 6 is greater than 3n. Divide both sides by 3. 2 is greater than n. I prefer my variable to be on the left-hand side. So I'll write n on the left-hand side and 2 on the right-hand side. Notice the arrow is pointing to the n. That's what's key, so it should still point to the n. So n is less than 2, not less than or equal to, so we have an open circle and we need less than 2. Okay, now, if I'm reading this right, this is 8x minus 6x is greater than 8, or 2x is greater than 8. Divide both sides by 2, x is greater than 4. Okay. Make a table of 5 values, then sketch the graph of each line. Alright. So, we know at x equals 0, we have the y-intercept is 1. So, let's see. X, y, let's put 0 in the middle. And then I'm multiplying by a half. So if I make these multiples of 2, it makes my multiplication easier. So 0, 2, 4, and then negative 2, negative 4. And now I'm plugging these numbers into y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. So when you plug 0 in, anything times 0 is 0. So this is just y plus 1. Alright, this is just 0 plus 1, which is 1. Now when I plug 2 in, I get negative 1/2 times 2 over 1 plus 1. So this is negative 2 over 2 plus 1. Negative 2 over 2 is negative 1, so negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Now I'll plug 4 in. Y equals negative 1/2 times 4 plus 1. Half of 4 is 2, so negative 1/2 times 4 is negative 2 plus 1, or y is negative 1. That's 4, not negative 2. Okay, now I will plug negative 2 in. Y equals negative 1/2 times negative 2 plus 1. So 1/2 and 2 are reciprocals. They cancel each other out and just make 1. And notice they're both negative, so a negative times a negative is a positive. So this becomes 1 plus 1, or 2. And lastly, plugging in negative 4, y equals negative 1/2 times negative 4 plus 1. Y equals 2 plus 1, or y equals 3. Alright, so 4, negative 1, 2, 0, 0, 1, negative 2, 2, and negative 4, 3. So, like that. Now we have to decide, we have to shade either above or below the line. Oh, no we don't, it's not an inequality, it's just a line. Okay, so never mind. Alright, so now we have y equals negative x plus 2. We already know what this looks like. It has a y-intercept of 2, right there. It has a slope of negative 1. So that's the slope, or that's negative 1 over 1. So that means you go down 1 every time you go to the right by 1. So down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. So this is what our line had better look like. And now let's check it. I don't know where my colors went to. Okay, so a table of values, x, y, I'll put 0 in the middle here. No reason not to do 0 with this one. There's no fraction involved, so that's good. So 0, negative 1, negative 2. Oh yeah, look over here. I did this last time as well. Put my numbers in backwards order. Negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. And then if I plug those in, negative 2 becomes positive 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Negative, negative 1. So negative 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 0 plus 2 is 2. Now put in 1. Negative 1 plus 2. 2 plus negative 1 is 1. And now I put in 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Alright, so negative 2, 4. Negative 1, 3. 0, 2. 1, 1. And 2, 0. Oh, right. So how do I already have this drawn? It's because I already had it drawn, because I did it ahead of time. Yes.